Alright guys, such comic again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. The Allukamania continues. Rumours emerging last night that 6 of the 12 CDL teams at least put in an inquiry as to whether Alluka could be available in the very near future indeed. And according to some sources, some top teams are in this discussion as well. Maybe FaZe Vegas, possibly Los Angeles Thieves, Eggs, Scrap, among many other names talking about this guy over the last couple of days. Even Shotzzy gets into a little bit of trouble with him last night. Plenty to talk about. Is he going to end up in the league, or is that not going to happen for various reasons? And if he does end up in the league, which team is actually going to sign him, and could it be one of the big boys? Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. The team packs are here. There's a bit of drama about the team packs actually because of like the animations and stuff that they can run. One of the guys from Heretics says their original operator idea was for the operator, for the calling card anyway, to be a double middle finger in order of super, but that got not allowed, unfortunately, which is a little bit frustrating just because, look, COD's an 18+ game. Have we not had emotes where people throw up the middle fingers in past games? I'm pretty sure we have. So for that not to be allowed is kind of unfortunate, but whatever. Heretics have still done, I think, a pretty good job with this overall. It's just still pretty unfortunate how the teams don't have as much control as maybe would be ideal. There was another bit of drama, and we're just going to dive straight into the Rostermania stuff here on Lqgend. So Lqgend has been officially removed, if you guys haven't seen that, from the Vancouver Surge. Well, he's still on Surge, he's on the bench, but he's actually now on the Stallions. We'll discuss in a second on that one. But he, well, it didn't last very long in the Pro League. To some, that might not be a massive surprise. It was always going to be a massively uphill battle, especially the team that they put around him. Sib says in the replies, "You're him, dog. In due time, you will be back." So I don't think Lqgend stock has taken that much of a battering. I actually think it's probably a well-timed move in the sense that for Lqgend, he doesn't keep getting slapped around in the Pro League on a team that clearly wasn't going to work. And for Surge, maybe they get some slight chance to improve. We'll discuss that later today. But as Stallions say, one Lqgend unretires, another Lqgend joins. This is the new Stallions roster. So, you know, we know what it's like in challenges. The teams are making changes all the time. Colt Havoc is back, so this is great to see. Havoc was an excellent player in his day. Some of you guys might remember the 1v4 he had when he was on ISO against the OpTic Dynasty on Riot Search and Destroy back in Advanced Warfare, one of my favourite ever competitive maps of all time. Even in the entirety of the Jetpack era, Havoc was absolutely a factor. And then even in Modern Warfare 19 on that Florida team, did some good things as well. So he's not been competing for the last couple of years. Havoc's done a great job in the content game, but he's waiting for rank to come out. And until then, he wants something to play, something to get excited about, and this seems to be that. And to be honest, yeah, Havoc hasn't played COD on a competitive level or a professional level for a long time. Is he still going to be a better fit to try and help Lqgend in his improvement than what the hell was going on Surge? Absolutely. And I think this could be excellent, right, for all parties. So Swooty's there, Encourage is there, Lqgend and Havoc rounding out the team. Really excited for this roster. I think it's going to be great to watch. And as I said, Lqgend gets more opportunity in challenges to play more COD, and he gets to play with a guy like Havoc, who's an absolute veteran of the game. So, you know, there's lots of optimism, I think, around this team. Certainly just challenges in general is popping off right now to levels that we've not seen before in the CDL, certainly. Now, look, are we still in a closed structure where there are only 12 teams going to the event? Yes, although Atlanta is a Pro-Am event this season, as we understand. So it's moving in a positive direction, slowly but surely. With OpTic involved, with Zoomer involved, challenges is popping off. It means there's loads of eyes on the players in Tier 2, and also because people are looking for the next Mercules, right? In the same way that people were looking for the next Simp over the last few years, and people thought, well, it's probably never going to end up happening anymore. There is no other Simp out there. There's no good kids even playing COD. They've all gone to play Fortnite or Valorant or some other game. And that is true to a certain degree. COD has not done the best job of honing a good challenges ecosystem. But it's also worth pointing out, Alluka is in the US on a student visa, playing originally collegiate Call of Duty. So again, that's another sign that you know, we don't maybe have the healthiest tier 2, tier 3, tier 1 dynamics, but to some extent we're getting there, right? We've got colleges giving out funding for promising players. They can then get involved in tier 2, potentially get noticed, tier 1, etc, etc. And look, Alluka has been streaming his POV a fair bit over the last few days, and everyone's talking about it, right? Maybe some of the other players could take a lesson or two from that. So we'll get back to Alluka in a second, but of course the big question has been over the last few days, with all the talk about Alluka being maybe the next Mercules. I mean, look, I don't want to say it, but Shotzzy literally said it on stream. We talked about it last night. Well, if he is the next Mercules, which, I mean, look, I don't want to put too much pressure on the kid before he's even come in the Pro League, but he is also himself talking a pretty big game, which I think is exciting if he wants to get into the league. But look, if he is Mercules 2.0, then obviously he has to be in the Pro League at some point relatively soon. The question, therefore, would be where? And also last year, let's not forget when OpTic were going through all of their drama and Mercules was playing on Toronto and was doing really well, OpTic didn't want to make another change, right? Shotzzy didn't want to do it again. They wanted to keep Skies because they were like, well, we're making some small improvements and too much drama. Like, you know, let's just get to the end of the year, right? But no, OpTic, obviously Methods and then Hector, they forced it through. Mercules effectively was in the point of being undeniable, and it forced the top team in OpTic that they became to make the move because they weren't delivering at that moment. So that's the question again. This time it's like, okay, there's teams out there that aren't doing that well. Scrappy is in every single group chat and Discord call and TeamSpeak on stream over the last few days, talking with X, talking with Dashy, and all everyone wants to talk about is Alluka and the fact that this kid's going to be next up. And whether he is or whether he's not, of course, there will be seeds of doubts there being sown. This is Scrap's new car. It's obviously German. I know that X had a couple of thoughts about that. And, well, just pretty funny, right? Because he's got this new BMW. Let's not forget what happened to the old one. So I hope Scrap doesn't crash it into the top of a parking lot this time. You guys might remember that story from earlier this year when it was pretty icy out there in Dallas and maybe didn't have the right tyres on the car. Or, well, who knows? We didn't get the full CCTV footage of that, unfortunately. But X does say to Scrap, look, time's ticking, baby. Alluka's out there, getting ready to go, and you're going to get him or not, or you might lose him to another team because there are certainly other teams interested as well. And the Ghost of Hope says that one of those teams is FaZe Vegas. I nearly called them Atlanta FaZe, but it was staring me right in the face, so I didn't make that mistake this time. But look, Alluka, could he go to FaZe? Now, this would be particularly remarkable. Again, Ghost of Hope, he's pretty reliable and good when it comes to leaks about the state of Call of Duty more generally. When it comes to CDL specific stuff, remember when he said that Thieves were going to stick it out? That wasn't the case. Now, does this mean that FaZe are going to sign Alluka? No, but would I doubt that FaZe have at least maybe had a conversation, had a little word and seen if there's some interest there? No, I think it's very plausible that FaZe could be thinking about it right now. They've started the year probably in the way that they might have expected from a results standpoint. Their results are actually okay, but the way that they've delivered those results, it's been Simp, who's been excellent, of course. Abuzah's been pretty solid. O4's been okay. Drazah has been particularly underwhelming now, right? I mean, Drazah's been underwhelming for, I want to say, probably about 8 months or 7-8 months, something like that. He was pretty damn good at the start of Black Ops 6. Then it fell off towards the end of the year, and he's not started this game particularly well either. Not like you'd expect for Drazah, who's been so solid and consistent over the last few years in pretty much all the game modes. Now, Drazah's a world champion, multiple event winner. You're going to drop him after 2 weeks of league matches for a kid who's fried in one Challengers Cup and might be the next Mercules but might not? Like, you know, that would be pretty wild. Maybe something that you could do, it might be worth doing. And certainly if I'm FaZe and I can get him on the bench, I think that's probably what I would do. I mean, it's definitely something to consider. If Alluka would agree to that and he could keep playing challenges as it is, but he's officially like a FaZe player and they'd probably put him in at some point, that would be exciting, I think, for both parties. But also, would he let that happen, right? Alluka probably will get starting offers elsewhere. So that is where the debate really starts to ring true. And FaZe obviously have a couple of tweets on the matter as well. Well, it's not really sure what they're tweeting about here, but we did see Omit Ruffy, of course, who runs the show at the Omit Brooklyn team that Alluka is currently playing for. says that there have been 6 CDL teams that have reached out. Nameless is mind blown. We're back at it again. That have at least inquired about the status of Alluka. So a couple of clips to share here. A lot of interesting stuff going on.
We had a rough
Tom, bro, let's talk about the surge, bro.
Yeah.
They picked up Lqgend, a guy with no prior COD experience. I'm okay with the pickup, whatever, the risk. But they didn't even give the guy the right classes, Tom. They had him running no long barrel, like some fucked up subclass. And they're like, yo, run the sub for us.
Bro, I'm telling you right now.
They didn't even give the guy the right class.
Slayer, I'm telling you right now, they sabotaged that guy. They sabotaged him bad. I'm going to get this guy on track. Bro.
Dude, I couldn't believe he showed up to your guy's stallion scrimmage. He's like, what? No, I was just running what I was told.
Nobody told him, bro.
Conversations, some initial conversations still need to be had, but I'm not afraid to say that half the league has reached out with interest in this player.
Wait, hold on. When you say half the league, couple teams, or do you legitimately mean like half the league has reached out?
6 of 12 teams in the CDL have shown interest in Alluka.
I'm actually pretty shocked that there's 6 teams.
I'm not mind blown.
Wow.
Wait, you see that? You see that expiring January 2nd, 2026 in that pick? What if he's trying to low-key say the LA Thieves current roster will expire January 2nd?
You think
what
so?
if they have him signed by the 2nd, Tom?
You think this was a message? This was a message, Slayer. This is a sign. This is a sign from Ernie.
Hey,
this is a
league
sign.
matches don't start back till January 9th.
That's true.
Whoa,
So,
and Tom, that is a German car.
Whoa. Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that, Slayer.
And that's Ernie's only tweet, bro.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that. Oh my
That's
God.
a German import, bro, right there.
Alluka's in here right now. Oh my God. He just popped up out of nowhere. You gotta think he's going to the Thieves.
And look, Tom, you see the registration sticker on the window? 10 and 30? That's what Kenny's been going.
Cup 6, played against Shotzzy in LA, I think. Bro, and you guys gotta imagine, I was in the EU still. I was in the kitchen playing in Germany, right? Bro, this guy, Shotzzy, bro, he shit, like, I shit on them as well. Cause wait, that's when I was 17 back then. We played against, look, it was me, Takes and S and Dylan against Shotzzy, LA and Huke. I was 17 back then. I was playing in the kitchen. We lost this shit. Like, look, I shit on them bad, bro. Like, yeah, I think Black Ops 6 Shotzzy was probably one of the best people I ever played against. Like, bro, you guys gotta imagine, look, the ping I was on. And we were hosting as well, right? Bro, this guy shit on me so bad on my host, on this ping. I was like, okay, bro, you got it, bro. Like, you and him. I was monitor camming as well, cause like, I think Huke was it who felt like I was cheating back then. But you fucking took that shit to town. I did on this map, but bro, I'm gonna be honest, we lost the chase, so look, it was 3k pot, and it was 1-2 map count.
Alluka said he would shut me. Alluka's fucking terrible. Yo, clip this. Alluka's fucking terrible. I hope he joins the league.
So if you were these CDL teams, what would you be doing, right? If you're FaZe, do you go for the pickup? If you're Thieves, I mean, especially Thieves is a really interesting one right now with the Kenny situation. Kenny's numbers have not been great. They've not been terrible. It's just he's had a couple of maps that have been really bad, and people will say, well, Alluka wouldn't be going 13 and 31. Like, I was watching a fair bit of his stream last night. The kid is frying, right? Like, he has phenomenal awareness, his shot is very strong, and yeah, there's a good reason why the pros are very high on this Alluka kid. I also think when you watch his gameplay, the decisions he makes, the understanding he has of the game, certainly like the spawns as well, I noticed that he's really in tune with where people are going to be spawning. He just seems to, certainly, he's not just, it doesn't appear that he's just another Challengers kid with good gunny. Like, there's a reason why his numbers have been so impressive, and it's because he can make good use of that gun skill that he's got. So, you know, it's understandable that people are gassing him up, but at the same time, because of Mercules, it's kind of changed people's perceptions of what it could be down there, like in Challengers. Kaysun says mute the stream. We've got a couple of things to talk about. He then came out and said, we ain't changing, buddy. We good over here, Alluka. We good over here. We got Ben Simmons or whatever, right? So, you know, Kaysun confirms that FaZe isn't changing despite rumors of Alluka's joining. Who knows? Who knows? Now, the other thing that's worth noting, this guy from Surge says Alluka won't get on a team this year, most likely, because of his visa situation. So it's worth discussing that in a little bit of detail. He's on a student visa, as I say. So in order for him to effectively get on a team with a work visa, that would take some work, right? Like, they're not going to be able to turn it around, especially over Christmas, New Year, in a matter of days. So now, I don't think it would be impossible. If there's a will, there's a way, right? If a team comes out with the bags and they're going to pay the lawyers or whatever to get this over the line and they want to get him with the work visa and make it all happen, I'm sure that it would be possible to do if you've got enough willingness and resources to make it happen. But, you know, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the people who make these decisions. So, but I can't, and this got deleted, I can't imagine that this would be an absolute impossibility for him to come into the Pro League this season if teams were really willing to make it happen. But it does mean that it will take some time, right? Like, he's not going to be coming in for the first week of January in the qualifiers, probably. If teams want him, we are probably talking at least a post-Major 1 thing. Some people say it should be Thieves. Kaysun says, 04, pack your bags, you're going to the Shanghai Sharks. So, look, I don't think that FaZe, at least the way that they're not talking like they're going to make changes, but you never really know. So very much on Twitter, your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.